Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 3 of the anime series, Noragami. And this was yet again a really fun episode with some dramatic elements thrown in for good measure, I thought. We're basically seeing, Yato, this wannabe god, and his newly recruited regalia, Yuki, kind of having an adversarial relationship, and not one that is, unreasonable, because Yuki's concerned with the fact that he's a jersey wearing, pretty much homeless bum type of god. Even though he has all these abilities and everything like that, he's only working on 5 yen a job, and they're not getting jobs, a mile a minute here. They're not being hired for things every single day, and so they don't have much to go on. They have nowhere to live. They have to hide out at a shrine overnight. It's in cold, freezing weather, They've argued about what kind of jacket Yuki should wear. There's one with this little animal face on it and everything like that, which comes back to bite him in the ass a little later in the episode. But it is very comical. Even though their plight is a genuine one, they have nowhere to go. They can't afford food. The best they can do is Yato gives Yuki 1 sardine, which then gets stolen and pilfered by a cat. He steals it back, and, Yato has it for himself and realizes how nasty it is. So it is pretty funny, of course. We have Hiyori calling them and treating them to lunch, really, as a means by which to find out, are you going to be doing something to help me at some point here, with my, basically going unconscious and becoming a spirit with a tail and all this stuff. And so, seeing them chow down on that, that particular food is hilarious. They're just going nuts. And we learn that, they're not invisible to human beings. They're just not normally observed in the way that you're walking down the street, as Yato describes. You're not going to remember every single face you walk past. So it's very interesting that, they are of the far shore, the spirit realm, if you will, but they're not invisible. They do have a physical presence, and they can be seen if they want to be. It's just a matter of, people taking the time to notice. And, of course, we know that Hiyori did, and that's what got her in this predicament in the first place. But what's interesting is we kind of have Yuki getting a little hot and bothered by Hiyori, We see him blushing, and it immediately spikes Yato, apparently, because they have a mental connection, being that they are God and Regalia, respectively. They have a mind-body connection. And anytime it seems Yuki has unsavory thought about Hiyori, it's going to be, directly in mind of Yato, so he keeps yelling at him and everything for this. And they end up getting a call, and of course, you see Hiyori ends up sort of beaming away with them. They transport, and her body just falls unconscious. And we never get to pick up on that, what happened to her body falling unconscious outside this restaurant. We just follow her spirit form as they encounter the god of learning, Tenjin, and his request, essentially with his, big pimp daddy lifestyle that he's having to help people during exam times and everything like that. He recites a poem that he's surprised they even know with copyright and everything like that. I love that little touch. But in any case, he's got his whole horde of Tenjin sisters, regalia and everything like that. And his newest recruit is Tamone, of course, the former regalia of Yato. She quit on him in the first episode. And their request is to help with phantoms who are possessing people and making them want to commit suicide because their hopes aren't high to, be successful, go to college and all those things. And this is where the brilliant and yet again very brief action segment comes in, on top of a moving train, I might add, which is pretty awesome. And they save a life. And it's all because Yato, even though he feels like if people want to die, just let that happen, he doesn't want his regalia to suffer. He doesn't want souls who were taken without wanting to have died, who still very much want to live, having to see people waste their lives. So, Hiyori's very touched by that, and we kind of leave it there, with some ominous characters kind of looking at Yuki and Yato as they're camping out later that night, and Yato tells Yuki, you did good on your first job as my regalia and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a fun series so far, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen as the drama and the action just gets more and more tantamount as the series unfolds, and whatever they are going to eventually do to try to help Hiyori. I can only hope her soul doesn't get lost in the mix, because she got really close taking on a couple of these little phantoms trying to help people, and she almost got herself taken out for the count. So yeah, and while I'm thinking of it, if we never get any kind of action figure collectibles or collectibles about this series, about its characters, I do hope at the very least we get a t-shirt with the head of Yato, Yato's wannabe god visage, with his quote that I think should live for all time: "Gods don't poop." So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 3 of Noragami if you've seen it. Otherwise, I hope you're all doing well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.